If you wait until the circumstances are right, or you wait until you can afford the perfect setup, you will never get started. So here's some digital audio workstations that are free so that you can start making music now. Before we go any further, please just thumbs up, subscribe, all that happy stuff to make sure that I can keep doing more of this, and let's go. One of the first problems that I had when I really wanted to get started making music on the computer was the fact that I am broke. And like you in this economy, I'm pretty sure most of us just can't shell out $200, $300 for a decent DAW in order to do exactly what we want to do. So here's some ones to get you started, and then we're going to discuss the paid ones at the end. Okay, before we go really further into it, do you have a Mac, an iPad? Are you under the hegemony of Apple at this point? If so, you're actually 2 steps ahead of the game. If you have a Mac, you can download GarageBand for Mac and also GarageBand for iOS. It's a good starter. With modern DAWs, you need like automation and a whole bunch of other stuff. GarageBand is, okay, this is the easiest way to get started. Boom. So we're not going to spend too much time on that just because I don't use a GarageBand except as occasionally like a drafting thing. I will show you a decent DAW that is paid for iOS in some other video. Moving on, we have BandLab. BandLab is really good for mobile. If you just want to kind of sing into your phone and sing into your device and really kind of lay some stuff down in terms of ideas, it's not a full-fledged DAW, but it is a really good tool to kind of get some notes down. Which helps us because with BandLab, we get to Cakewalk Sonar. Cakewalk, I've had a troubled relationship with this DAW just because that was the first one that I came to when I came back to producing music. I started like in '98 when a friend of mine lent me a copy of Cool Edit Pro 2.1, and I used that. Life got in the way. I moved on. And then when I came back to Cakewalk. Cakewalk itself was really buggy and kind of touch and go for a little bit. But then they took it down, made it non-free, worked on it a little bit, and then re-released it as Cakewalk Sonar. I think I'm getting the broad strokes of the development right, but it's good to start with. One of the main things is that when you first start up, you might have an issue with setting up the audio. So we're going to take a look at my audio settings really quick just to kind of put you through it. To install it, you're going to need an account. My advice, start a Google account specifically for your music because you're going to get into sample packs, you're going to get into serum presets, you're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff. So let's go to Cakewalk Sonar. When you first start, it's going to say log in, and you're going to log in like 10 freaking times before you actually get a chance to come to this screen. This screen, my output is speakers, high definition audio, and I don't need any more of those. I also don't need that. But if you're not seeing those options, check your driver mode. Sometimes it goes on to ASIO. I have the hardware and software installed for that. You most likely do not, which means that you're probably going to go to MME 32-bit, click on that, it'll do its thing, and then poof, there you are. Unselect the ones that you don't need, and then hit next. I also have one thing that I also recommend you getting is a MIDI controller, whether that just be a regular keyboard. Akai has a really good line of very inexpensive MIDI controllers. I prefer ones with like expression stuff. And it is what it is. You get what you pay for. This ran me about $100 and it's really good. So we're going to put that as an input, not as an output because it doesn't have a speaker. Next. And we can go ahead and use analytics. Sonar is Cakewalk's a fairly trusted name, so I'll go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt for the moment. So we do done. Use free tier. Yeah, this video is all about free, so we're not going to get the membership quite yet. And I also have Ableton, so I don't really mess with Cakewalk too much anymore. So when you come up with this, you're going to have different ones. We'll just do 4-track. And it's already, if you have VST plugins, what is a VST plugin? We'll get to that in the next video. These are basically the instruments that you're going to be using. So if you go here, we will see. This is Dex. This is a very good little VST. So if you record, let's see, we're going to record here and then hit record. So, and if you want to turn that click on, by the way, or that sounds good. That was awful. Anyway, so Cakewalk is really good. We'll get into another video as to how to use Cakewalk and set it up and do all those things. It's really not that hard, but everything is free on this, provided you don't get the membership. There are certain things like here, you'll see a little crown icon. That is for when you get the membership. Should you decide to get the membership, my advice, play around with a few. And if you're really going to put money into this, put money into a good DAW. Like, I'm not saying Cakewalk isn't good, but it's really the starter. So let's move on. Okay, this one I mentioned just because I am a Linux freak. My main computer, I dual boot Windows and Linux. I do a lot of server-side code work and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So I have never messed with this specific DAW, but it's called LMMS. And if you download it, the installation is obvious, easy. It is what it is. I haven't used it yet. I'm going to at some point in the future. Maybe I'll make a video about that, but for now, that's where that is. You can see that at lmms.io. Another one, waveform free. I think I have this one on here. No, I uninstalled it. Okay. This one is actually a really good one, but it's really good, at least for me. I find that when you're using VST plugins, it tends to be somewhat laggy. So I just use it with sampling. Get to sample packs later in another video, but waveform free is a really good one. This one is not a DAW, but for those of you that are just doing like analog audio, vocals, things like that, you're recording in like an 1/8 inch jack in. This is what you would use if you really. This is a scalpel, not a spaceship. You know what I'm saying? Any of the other ones, you're going to have a whole bunch of different things. Audacity is fantastic. I use it for a lot of my just really nitpicky kind of wave work. Okay, so you've tinkered with Cakewalk and you decide you want to throw some money down. Let's look at the paid options. I will tell you one thing. I have only used two. Reaper and Ableton. So I can't give you opinions about the others, but I can tell you what friends of mine who have used it said about it. Now, first thing is FL Studio. This used to be known as Fruity Loops, and now it's obviously FL Studio. I have a lot of EDM producers use FL Studio. Really, the selection of your DAW is really going to come down to download the trial, see if the workflow works for you, and if you like it, then buy it. But I would try and make sure you look at the refund policies. You know what I'm saying? But FL Studio is really good. This is very good for EDM music, and I don't know too much about it other than that. The next one is Logic Pro for Mac. I don't own a Mac. I honestly have never really been interested in Mac as a machine. I used them when I was younger and then just realized I really want more of I like going under the hood. I'm a Linux guy primarily, but I have to use Windows for a lot. It doesn't really matter. Logic Pro is one of those that I haven't used. So if you have any ideas about Logic Pro, put them in the comments. Reaper, this may just be me. Reaper was difficult for me to use just because I come from a very sample-centric background. So I was never able to really acquire a comfort with Reaper. Although, I mean, it was fantastic for the times that I did get it to work for me. And again, try the trial, see if it works out for you. And if it does, sure, throw down the money for it. Studio One, I have a buddy of mine named Donnie who does a lot of progressive rock. 8-Bit Animals, I believe, is his band. Go check that out. I'm going to put a link somewhere. But he uses that for all of his work, and it sounds freaking amazing. To my understanding, he says it's very easy to use, and it's semi-light on resources, although obviously the more tracks you put down, the more of a resource hog it is. Right now, they're running a special $139.99 for new users, probably just until the 1st. So we'll see about that. But Studio One Pro is really good. I've seen the work that's come out of it. Now this, Ableton's my favorite. The second I messed with that, I was like, oh. And it's something I recommend to everybody. My advice to you, if you are a student, if you're in college, or you have some kind of student ID, they give you a huge discount on it. I think it was like, I'm probably wrong, but I want to say it was like $600. But with the student discount, I ended up getting it for like $120. Something to that effect. But way cheaper than I otherwise would have. So this is also one of the ones that I'm going to be doing a lot of my tutorials in. So I recommend this one, and I've had nothing but amazing experiences using Ableton. So we've talked about the DAWs, but I mentioned VSTs. VSTs are the instruments within the DAWs that you can use. There's pianos, basses, synths, and if you do EDM, you're going to rely on them pretty heavily. Now, what is a VST? Well, that stands for Virtual Studio Technology. Again, they're just these little plugins that you put in, and in my next video, I'm going to give you, let's say 5, 10? We'll start with 5, see where we go. 5 free VSTs that you can download and start playing with stuff right now. Linktree is right there. Take a look at it. You can hear my music on SoundCloud, Spotify, wherever you get your streaming music. My name is Hopeless Judas. Thanks for hanging out with me.